Are you serious? Are you serious? It's like they've been nuked. The bees from the fog of the spray to kill the mosquitoes in areas where the mosquitoes that carry the Zika virus haven't even got yet. And yet the spray, the fog, without asking you or I for permission, is killing the bees like they've been nuked. I've seen pictures of it. It's a catastrophe. The Washington Post is even carrying a story. Sunday morning in South Carolina, the honeybees began to die in massive numbers. Why? Death came suddenly to the Dorchester County, South Carolina. Stressed insects tried to flee their nest only to surrender in little clumps at hive entrances. The dead worker bees littering the farms suggested that the colony collapsed disorder was not the culprit. In the odd phenomenon, workers' bees vanished as though raptured, leaving a living queen and young bees behind. Instead, the dead heaps signaled the killer was less mysterious, but no less devastating. The pattern matched acute pesticide poisoning. By one estimate, in a single area, a Flower Town bee farm and supply in Summerville, South Carolina, had 46 hives die on the spot, totaling 2.5 million dead bees. Walking through the farm, one of Summerville's women wrote on Facebook, was like visiting a cemetery, pure sadness. At Clemson University, scientists collected soil samples from the Flower Town on Tuesday, according to WCBD-TV, to further investigate the cause of death. But to the bee farmers, the reason is already clear. Their bees have been poisoned by the Dorchester's own insecticide efforts. Casualties in a war on disease-carrying mosquitoes, trying to protect the public from the Zika virus. It's unbelievable, folks. Now you have to hear what I'm going to tell you. This pesticide is used with the same chemical makeup of the larvicide that they poured into the water in Brazil, and what they said was to kill the mosquitoes that were carrying this Zika virus. Now in Brazil, there's three things they did. They created a GMO mosquito. They thought they could get the mosquitoes then to stop reproducing by sterilizing the males in this GMO, genetically altered mosquitoes. It didn't work. The mosquitoes mutated and continued, become like a super mosquito. They also poured the larvicide into the water. What we got was this: 4,000 cases of Zika and 4,000 Zika cases initially, and then it just spread it to massive thousands, not only in Brazil, but in Colombia and on up Central America. 5,000 babies born with microcephaly, which is a devastating birth defect that actually shrinks the heads of the children and gives them severe brain damage and disabilities. Okay. Now they tried to say that the Zika virus caused the microcephaly, but we have many scientists that say that's impossible. Those things don't even connect. But what does connect is the larvicide causing the microcephaly, and it's the larvicide also in the water. They've had, once that was put in the water, they had the miscarriage rate went up 80%. Plus, the abortion rate went sky high, because when women realize they have a child that may have severe disabilities or brain damage, they will go offshore, and then they're allowed to have an abortion, or they're only in those cases in Brazil. So that skyrocketed as well. So what America's decided to do is prevent the spread of Zika. and its so-called connection to microcephaly. How are we combating it? With GMO mosquitoes turned loose in the Florida Keys and fogging and spraying throughout the South now without permission to the landowners. Nobody knocks on the doors of the farmers that have organic crops that they do not want this on. They do not want this pesticide on their crops. It's organic. And so, but without any permission, the government is spraying and fogging the towns. And planes are flying over the crops and spraying and literally just fogging them. Even organic. And so what we got here, folks, is a catastrophe being implemented upon the people by the federal government to prevent a outbreak of something that's really not that big of a deal. If you get the Zika virus, folks, you have flu symptoms maybe for 3 days. I don't want it, but it is not what they're portraying it to be. This is a reason to, I believe, spray this pesticide that not only can cause sterilization for the mosquitoes, but what is the long-term effects on the reproductive process of humans? Do we really look? It's killing the bees like a nuke. It's like they've been nuked. This is unbelievable. The FDA is now starting to pull some of the fogging chemicals off, but not all, and not the larvicide chemicals, not the very ingredients that has caused what I believe that now. But the CDC is not blaming the larvicide. They at first said they couldn't see how it worked, but now they came around and said, hey, they're blaming Zika. They say Zika is causing the microcephaly and that the fogging must continue. There's something about this agenda that don't feel good. It's Agenda 21. It's just like the chemtrails that are being dumped upon the humanity. There's something about what they're doing here doesn't feel good at all. And if you think it's okay, ask the bees. They're dying. Who's next? Are you saved? Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're in the last days. The Lord's coming soon. Don't be left behind.